Hi, my name is Allysa Woodrow, and I will be talking about my practicum placement. So, where is my practicum placement? It is at John Paul II Collegiate, which is in North Battleford. It is a Catholic school, and I also work at North Battleford Comprehensive High School, which is the public school in North Battleford, and it is also known as the Comp. Um, Basically, what my job is I am a mental health promoter, and I work within the mental health capacity building, which was an initiative started 2 years ago to help bring mental health supports and promotion into the schools. Um, my job is basically just to enter classrooms, educate the staff and students on different mental health presentations and activities. I make a lot of posters and a lot of bulletin boards. And yeah, so just basically promoting mental health in any way that I possibly can. Um, and my goal going into this practicum was to indigenize any space that I was put in. And I have been able to do that. So I'm helping promote Indigenous wellness to the students and staff. And instead of talking about the negatives behind Indigenous mental health, I'm able to promote the positives and how Indigenous people cope with certain things. And yeah, it's kind of fun. So I've had lots of challenges, lots of challenges. For the first 2 weeks, there was no students. At comp, there was an outbreak, so they moved to level 5, I think, which means that everything's online. And then at John Paul, they had finals and completion week. So the students were in the classroom, and the minute they had to leave the classroom, they had to go home because of COVID. So I didn't have any students, so it was kind of a nice introduction into the school because I wasn't overwhelmed with students. But it kind of sucked because the schools were very empty. Um, and yeah, but that's all right. They're back in now, so everything is it was good. I've been really stressing with the mindsets of people. So the old mindset on mental health. Um, what they think students need, just things like that. It's really hard to see because I am still pretty young, so I have a young mindset, and I know what I needed in high school for certain things, and yeah, I it's kind of hard, but I'm just meeting the staff where they're at and just moving past that. So I'm able to educate a couple of staff on certain things. However, not everyone is willing to change their mind. So as long as I just keep a positive attitude and continue to educate, hopefully something will click. um, but yeah, and I struggled at the beginning with producing new ideas. I was completely tired of making posters and things like that. So, but now things have changed. I'm able to think of new ideas every day, which is super nice. But at the beginning, it was definitely hard. Um, I struggle with balancing a personal life and a work life. I go to work from 8:30 to 4, and the minute I come home, I want to continue to work on things. And it is a part of my self-care as well to like work on things because I'm a very like go 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 kind of person. But I've now learned a couple of boundaries of what should be done at school and what should be done here. So we also had a big smudging dilemma. One minute it was okay, the next minute wasn't, and then it was okay, and then it wasn't. It was a real stressful week, but so it kind of sucks that smudging wasn't allowed within one of the high schools, but I am currently working on it, and I hope to eventually solve the dilemma. I'm not getting my hopes up just because you never know, but I'm trying, so that's all that I can do. Um, I struggle with student plans. We have a young student in grade 8 who doesn't want to be at school, doesn't want to do anything. Um, but we're working with her family, working with the teachers to try to figure out a plan of how we can help her succeed. 'Cause she's only in grade 8, like she still has quite a few years of high school left. So, um, but yeah, it's just kind of hard to see a student want to give up so early in life. I was that way too. I didn't want to go to school and things like that, but it's different to see someone struggle with going to school and then being that person that doesn't want to go to school, So yeah, so we're just kind of working on it. I'm using my own personal experiences to help as well. And yeah, and then I also struggle with wanting to do multiple tasks all at once. So when I have a project in mind, I want to get it done. But then the minute someone brings up another project, I want to get that one done. Like I need to prioritize my work and work on time management. But that is just one thing that I'm working to do. So my achievements, I have done quite a bit of achievements or like things, which is kind of surprising. Um, because it's not surprising. I don't know why I said it was surprising, but anyway, I'm not going to restart this PowerPoint again. So, um, I have been able to indigenize spaces. Any space I went into, I was able to indigenize. I hung up posters, inspirational Indigenous people posters, um, and it's been so amazing. I have staff commenting on it. I have students commenting on it. There's like over like just under 1,000 shares on each one of my um, posts on Facebook. People have been asking me for them. It's crazy. It just absolutely blew up. So it's kind of nice. I've done a lot of bulletin boards, as I had said, but I'm trying to do the posters on the bulletin boards as something that I would want to see as a kid. I hated those ones that had just facts like labeled all over those posters. I didn't read those. Like I didn't like them. So I'm trying to keep them like just kind of like simple to the point kind of thing. So um, and then I was also able to gain a lot of relationship with the staff and students. I graduated from John Paul, so it was pretty easy to engage with the staff because I've known them for many years. But it was really different to be there as a colleague rather than a student. So I'm still working on that. It's a little weird, but it's going pretty good. And even with the students, I've able to gain a couple of relationships with students. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. I've also been doing happiness challenges. So every day in February, I posted a different happiness challenge, and I made sure it was something that I would do personally. Um, so it was things like take a bath, sleep in, make a different meal or like a different recipe you've never tried before, just things like that. And it was supposed to like just be a day, like a daily challenge that is simple enough that you can do. And yeah, it's been really good so far. I really enjoyed it, and I've had a lot of positive feedback. So um, I'm also helping rework an Indigenous portion of a mental health and well-being course. It's basically just a course that is like mental health and well-being. And when I read through the course, there was a section, it was half a page, and it was dedicated to Indigenous mental health. Half a page was all there was. And half of that half a page was just telling you the different types of Indigenous people. So there was like, oh, this is what Cree people are, and just things like that. So I looked at it, I circled it, I put a big revamp stamp on there. And yeah, so I'm going to do that. And instead of focusing on the negatives of Indigenous mental health, like the high suicide rates among um, like Northern communities, I will mention that. However, I want to also mention a lot of the like Indigenous wellness um, factors to it. So like the four medicines and just things like that. So I'm really pumped for that. I'm excited to be able to make a lasting impression on a course. So um, I'm also known as like the go-to project gal. Um, Anytime anyone has a project that they want done, they come to me and I will get it going, get it done. Because it is a pet peeve of mine when people say, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if like John Paul had something like this?" And then that thing doesn't get implemented. I'm definitely yeah, like it would be cool to have that. So let's do that, right? So yeah, so it's kind of nice to be able to help the staff get some of their projects that they've wanted for quite a while, like get the ball rolling on them. And I'm also able to use my platform within like North Battleford to make change within the schools, and even just change within like the students and their families. There was house that burnt down, and there was two students that lost everything. Well, like the entire family lost everything, but they needed clothing. And I posted on Facebook saying, "Hey, anyone have clothing or anything that they're willing to donate? Please let me know. I'll come pick it up." And we were able to donate two big bags full of clothes, or three big bags full of clothes, and $100 towards his family. So it was really nice to be able to do that. And I know it's not really like related to my job, but I am able to post concerns and comments and things on Facebook and have people listen. And I'm very privileged for that. And I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, there's been lots of other achievements, but these are some of like the really big ones. Um, and yeah, so like this is the Indigenous Inspiration Wall at John Paul. So there's all sorts of indigenous people that is around it. I try to incorporate Cree. I hope that is how you say these things in Cree. Um, yeah, so I'm hoping. Um, yeah, and then these are some of the posters I put around the school. So like problematic words that we can all stop using. Just some simple little pick-me-ups that really have nothing, like no facts, no nothing on them. Just little pick-me-ups, and they've been working, so it's nice to see. Um, Done lots of bulletin boards, um, and like this is, I was able to incorporate spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional into one of the bulletin boards. The stressed one was for finals week, just some like little self care things that you can do to be less stressed. And then also the John Paul II Heroes was like a little appreciation thing for the staff at John Paul, so it was kind of cool. We did a couple pick me up days. So me and my boss went to Tim Hortons and picked up hot chocolate. And we handed that out to the staff and students just because it was a very cold day and everyone was just kind of feeling meh. So we had a little pick me up. And then for teacher appreciation week, we went around and handed out chips and chocolate bars to the staff. And it was kind of just like a little cute pick me up. They're really excited to see us when we bring in snacks now. So um, so my knowledge gained, I learned that schools need serious mental health help. It has definitely improved. I can't speak for big cities like Saskatoon or Regina, um, but within North Battleford, it has definitely improved. In 2018, there was nothing, absolutely nothing. They had to call in counselors for the students because of all the suicides, and so they had to call in resources, and that was really all they did. And it's really nice to see now, and I definitely needed what we have now when I was in high school. So it's really nice. It's very nice to see, but there's definitely a lot more that needs to be done. Um, like staff need to get on board with mental health initiatives, letting us into the classroom to educate their students, just things like that. Um, I've also learned how to indigenize any space or anything that I'm doing. Anytime someone comes to me with a project, I'm like, all right, how can I incorporate indigenous aspects into it, which is kind of nice. And just some personal knowledge that I've gained is that I would love to work in a high school setting. So I have goals of going back to university once I'm done my social work degree and possibly getting an education degree and teaching Native studies, like the proper Native studies. And yeah, I really enjoy the high school setting. And yeah, so that's kind of my own personal knowledge. And that is it. That is all. I hope I didn't bore you too much. And again, I'm sorry for the improper way of doing this presentation. I thought I could do it on PowerPoint, but I guess you can't if you have a MacBook. So, yeah, anyway, thank you for listening. And yeah, have a good day.